I'm sure, just like me, you're feeling a bit helpless and overwhelmed when it comes to dealing with the bushfire crisis. And we need to remember that this is a marathon, not a sprint. So I've enlisted the help of my good friend and psychologist Sandy Ray to help us navigate how to look after our own mental health and that of others during this recovery period. Sandy, I really need your help on this one because since the bushfires, I have donated money 3 times now. I have bought food, I have volunteered my time to pack boxes, I've helped on social media, I've given prizes for raffles, I've bought tickets for raffles, and I'm done. And the thing is, when I feel that I'm done, I feel guilty. I feel like I'm an asshole because honestly, I haven't experienced the trauma. So I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there with fundraising fatigue. How do we get our empathy back?
Well, you're not alone. It really is a thing, and it's through what we call vicarious trauma. So you're so empathic, so what we call your mirror neurons are so well fired up that you are actually feeling the trauma that other people have suffered through. So big tick to you for your level of compassion and your level of altruism, and another big tick for your level of empathy. But it is exhausting. It's taxing biologically, emotionally, and psychologically. And it's really great that you actually can identify this in yourself because we need people like you. You are the people, so many people have helped and shown this enormous compassion, but it is exhausting.
So what are some of the signs that you're feeling a bit of that fatigue?
I think probably the most obvious sign is that you just feel worn out. And for some people, they're so empathic, they actually take on some of the symptoms of PTSD. So they've seen the images, they've felt the trauma from people, they've shared a lot of perhaps stories with the victims, that they actually take it on. And we know from past research that you do identify so strongly that you do get those symptoms of PTSD. Things like exhaustion, even fantasising about the trauma, that you're almost placed in the trauma. Poor sleep habits, not eating, not exercising, neglecting your daily care. And so it puts your mental health at risk. So the fact that you are actually able to articulate, I feel exhausted, heads up, well done.
So how do we stop this feeling though? Because all of Australia needs to rally for a long time.
I think one of the most important ways of resurrecting your good health is to say, here's the red flag, I'm feeling exhausted. Take some time out and hand the baton to someone else. There are lots of people who haven't experienced this trauma, who haven't been involved in the fundraising and the bushfire reliefs and directly, the first responders. Stand back a bit and say to yourself, what else can somebody else do? Take some time off to get back into habits of good sleep, good eating, and a bit of exercise. They're always your go-to for good mental health. Again, if it continues, if you're still feeling overwhelmed, it's time for you now to actually step right back and disengage from further, volunteer efforts until you feel strong enough. Because some people are so highly empathic, which I'm sure you're one of them, Shelley, that you take it on board to the point that you do feel exhausted.
But it's important to regroup so you can then help again.
Exactly.
Thanks for your time, Sandy.